Salutations, once again. I'm Elvis welcoming you to another Dubster dive for Isekai Cheat Magician. Oh no, it actually has Isekai in the title. A title like that just screams pretentious. Okay, let's get started. Allow me to take you back to the year 2012. Sword Art Online had just started, basically creating the Isekai boom. Meanwhile, a web novel series titled Isekai Cheat Magician, written by Takeru Uchita and illustrated by Nardak, had just started. It was then adapted into a light novel a year later, and to my knowledge went completely unnoticed. Until April 2018, an anime adaptation was announced by Encourage Films, creators of Lucky Star, and creators of the Symphogear franchise, a series that desperately needs an English dub. Why hasn't it gotten one yet? Seriously, come on now. The anime would air in July of 2019, with a dub premiering in Crunchyroll in October. It had 12 episodes, and was universally panned. Probably because it was an isekai that aired directly after Shield Hero. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to air this show so close to that one. On top of that, again, it aired 7 years after the light novel premiered. Or web novel, I guess. This seems like a very stupid move. But who knows? Maybe this will surprise us. Let's dive in and see what this show has to say. Okay, already episode 1 starts off and it pisses me off. It opens with a bunch of characters using magic in an army. Or on an army, rather. Before promptly going backwards to explain how we got here. Okay, I don't like this plot point at all. I've never been a fan of this plot device. Yes, it can be used correctly, but if you think this show does it justice, well then, it doesn't. We are then introduced to our two main characters. This is Pro Tycoon, Taichi. He's generic. He also happens to have higher reflexes than most. That is literally all we are told about him in this high school setting. He is walking along with his childhood friend, aka the one that he's going to be shipped with, Best Girl, named Rain. It is at this moment you realize that these two are incredibly plain and are mostly one note. So, soon after, Rain suddenly has a circle appear beneath her and is unable to move. Taichi's like, "Don't worry, I will save you." Jumps into the circle with her, and they're both transported to another world. This new world is called Altia, the name sounds generic, and is a world full of magic and sorcery. Okay, I will give the show credit for one thing. I actually like it when multiple characters are transported to another world. Devil's a Part-Timer, Digimon, Magic Knight Rayearth. All of those shows did it. And I kind of like all those shows. So, good on you. This show also does something that not a lot of isekais do. I mean, some have done it obviously, but more could stand to do it. It addresses the language barrier. You know, where Rin and Taichi are wondering, how is it they can understand English? Or are we not speaking English and we're just speaking their language without realizing it? Because magic. Again, it's stupid reason, I guess, but at least it's addressed. What follows is Taichi discovering that he is the most powerful mage there. He's a prodigy. Rin also discovering that she's more powerful than most of the wizards there. And what do you want me to say? It's basic bitch isekai. It evolves from that to there being some sort of imperial war, conspiracies, and monsters showing up out of nowhere that Taichi must join up the Empire to defeat. But I'll save the rest of the ranting for spoiler time. Let's move on to animation, which from every comment I've read online has stated it has been either dreadfully bad to just average at best. So, not much to say on that. We then have the soundtrack, and in my opinion, it's okay. Nothing terrible, and there are even a few battle tunes that I'm like, hey, you know what? I could listen to this. This is fine, I suppose. So, moving on from there, I guess the last thing to cover with the OST is the fact that its opening is done by Myth and Royd. You know, the same people that have done openings and endings for most other isekais, such as Cautious Hero, Overlord, ReZero, just to name a couple. Can't have an isekai without them attached to it, I guess. Either way, again, I actually don't mind the opening for this one. Now I guess let's get into why this is called Dubster Dive. And the only saving grace for this anime from being pure mediocrity. Its English dub is actually decent. So, let's start with Taichi, Pro Tycoon, voiced by Griffin Hewitt? Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I know next to nothing about this dude. He has been in other shows such as Hunter x Hunter and so on, but either way, I've got to say he did a good job here. I mean, with what he was given, at least. Taichi is, as stated, just your basic bitch protag. He's a one-note personality that's very generic. He wants to be heroic, and he himself knows he's overpowered, and he's like, oh, I don't care. Even if it comes across as cheating, I'm gonna do it, because... sure. So, again, Griffin did an okay job. We then move on to Reen, voiced by Lizzie Freeman. And the reason I said Reen is best girl at the beginning of this is because Lizzie Freeman is easily the MVP of this dub, in my opinion. Not that everyone else's performance is bad, it's that she turns what would have been a very boring generic character into something a lot better, in my personal opinion. Lizzie Freeman has also voiced Trish in JoJo Golden Wind and Senpai in Magical Senpai. But before Isekai Chief Magician... Did I just call it Chief? I mean Cheat. Regardless, before that, I had never heard of this VA before, so... Again, stellar job. I'm actually glad she's getting more work. It means she's escaped the mediocrity of this show. Our next main is Muir, voiced by Laura Stahl, whom most of you would probably know as currently Iruma from Welcome to Demon School. And again, she did a good job here. Is the stern warrior type. We then have our last two mains. Lemia, voiced by Tara Sands, you know, Biscuit from Hunter x Hunter, or Mokuba from Yu-Gi-Oh! And Ariel, voiced by Tara Sands. Crunchyroll? Really? Or Bang Zoom, whoever dubbed this. Why? Why the double casting? Come on! You know what's even more stupid is I'm pretty certain there are scenes where they talk to each other. Look, she at least does a different voice for both characters, but it doesn't change the fact that it's double casting. Aside from that, the rest of the dub cast is your typical Bang Zoom affair. Keith Silverstein, Kyle Hebert, and that's basically it. No one gives a bad performance. In fact, everyone I'd say does a great performance. And that's the one saving grace for this show is its English dub. Now, let's move on to the spoilers. But before that, I give this show a D+ as my grade. Not the worst thing I've seen, but I don't recommend this isekai unless you have nothing else to do. At best, It's a popcorn flick. Just watch it and turn your brain off. So, spoiler time. Now, I have so many complaints with this contrived plot. Firstly, let's start with Taichi's OP bullshit. Taichi's power is not earned. It is implied he was born with this power, so therefore, you don't feel like his power is deserved. Let me explain. Other isekais have OP characters, yes, but their power at least feels earned. For example, Ainzel Gon in Overlord. His power is, well, because he was already a top player in the MMO before going into it. Therefore, it's somewhat believable that his character would be that powerful, since he's literally playing as his avatar. We then have another example, I can't believe I'm using this one, Kirito from Sword Art Online, at least in Season 1. His overpowerness, again, is somewhat believable because he goes off and trains on his own for months at a time. So when he returns to everyone else, his power scaling is a little more understandable. But in this, it's not. He's just spoon-fed power-up after power-up like it's nothing. There are several moments when he's about to die, a spirit will come down that makes a pact with him saying, I will give you power just because you are in danger. If this happens every time he's in danger, then what's the point? So, we have a protagonist that can't perish. Okay, well then, what about the other characters? Well, this is one thing the show did that is a double-edged sword. Partway into the anime, a new character is introduced named Anastasia. She is an assassin that attempted to moida Protag-kun. He stops her and shows her mercy, thus wanting to make her redeem herself. She ends up slowly redeeming herself over the course of the next couple of episodes, only to promptly die after redeeming herself. Again, what? I understand what they were going for, saying that, oh, if Protag-kun can't die, don't worry, other characters can. The problem is you killed off a character that was the only interesting one at the time. She's the only one that had natural development from beginning, middle to end. She had an arc, and it's just frustrating. Making matters even worse, they literally start the next episode after she died with narration that she would want us to be happy. So we're not going to be sad anymore. And then they never mention her again. Like, okay, sure, I guess. This didn't happen. That works. But you want to know the one that really made this show fall apart for me? Halfway through the series or so, you find out that Taichi was summoned to the world from one of the royal princesses. She was summoned him to help prevent a war, because Taichi was someone that she felt could help them, because it was prophesized a hero from another dimension could stop the war between the two empires or something like that. Yeah, there's a war going on, as mentioned earlier, between the king and his younger brother. It's a civil war in this giant kingdom. I don't know. It's not presented very well either. It's just forced upon you around the 8-episode mark. So, Taichi was summoned, but Rin being summoned was an accident. Even though the circle formed under her first, so bad aiming, I guess? That's neither here nor there. So, that's why they're summoned. But then, the main villain of the show that it's been alluding to this whole time, who, by the way, is only referred to as Mistress, that is all they call her, she doesn't even have a name, states that she planned everything from the beginning. She manipulated the kingdom to go into a civil war because she wanted Taichi to be summoned from his world to theirs. and knew that if the war started, they would be forced to summon him. What the fuck? Why? Oh my god, why? Look, this is asinine, okay? I don't understand why they continue to do I've planned everything from the start. It has to be believable. You have to give the audience something to work with to make it believable that, oh, well, I guess maybe they could have really thought this through. But no. She knew Taichi from when he was born and sensed that he was blessed with magical power, thus she wanted to have him transferred to their world. It doesn't make much sense. But even if we run with this and say she did know of Taichi's existence and orchestrated everything, there is still so much that could have gone wrong here. For one, again, the princess that summoned them fucked up and summoned Rin on accident. If Taichi didn't jump in the way, well then congrats, the plan was done. If Taichi was a prick and said, yeah, sorry, you get isekai'd, I'm out, yo, then there you go. Not to mention, there are numerous times where Taichi could have died. Or did she know that the spirit was going to come down and spoon feed him power-up after power-up? Regardless, those are my thoughts on the show. Isekai Cheat Magician. Again, stick with what I said. D+. The plot is mediocre, the characters for the most part are one note, and the protagonist is more generic than sandpaper. Does that analogy make sense? I don't know. But neither does airing an isekai right after Rising of the Shield Hero and thinking it's going to do good when it has isekai in the damn title. To this day, there's still no word on if this show is going to get a season 2, and I highly doubt it will. If you want to watch this show, go for it, I guess. It's streaming on Crunchyroll, in sub and in dub. And that's all I have to say on it. Do I feel like I wasted my time watching this isekai? Kind of, yes, actually. I'm not even going to mince words. Much better isekai out there. Just stay away. But yeah. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this show. Did you enjoy it more than I did? We disagreed. That's cool. Disagreements bring life. I don't know. Or did you agree with me, though? Please, give me a comment. Let me know. And, yeah, leave a like and all that if you want, I guess. It's up to you. And if you have any more suggestions for anime for me to watch and for us to cover here on Dubster Dive, then feel free to leave that below as well. I was ElvisX, and thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed me ranting endlessly about an anime that surprisingly aired, despite everything else going on with the isekai genre. So until next time, guys, sorry this review turned out a bit more negative than most, but them's the breaks. Anyway, done rambling. See ya.